What up, guys? Seth here. I'm gonna do a little video here on the sword I got in the other day. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize in advance. My regular camera is over there charging, is dead. And I doubt I will have the energy or the strength to fool this later on, so here we go. Nothing fancy, no crazy editing. Just me showing you the sword and giving you my opinions on it. And the video may be a little wobbly. Oh well. We shall see. Anywho, this is the vampire bat katana from Shintogo Swords. Let me get it up on the stand that it comes with here. I'll give you guys a little look at it. This is about $400 on Amazon. And like I said, it's by Shintogo. And they're affiliated with Trident Military. I don't know what their relationship is or how their company works. But what I do know is that their customer service is just non-existent. And if you order something from them, you run a risk of not getting it. So make sure if you do order from Shintogo that you do it through Amazon. You know, probably Amazon would be your better bet than eBay. Amazon has great customer service and they will resolve your issues very quickly. At least that's been my experience. Anyway, so long story short, great swords, but the company sucks. So we got leather ito and battle wrap here. We got a bat manuki. And depending on how you have the sword, you know, sitting, it may appear to be backwards. Now, if you put it on there like this, it's sitting the right way. So it all depends on how you want to hang the sword or have the sword on the stand. I'll have all the specs and the dimensions in the description of the video below, so you guys can check that out. So we'll start the actual review here with the handle, or the ska. Leather ito. This isn't high quality, you know, too high quality like the kind that Josh Marlin uses from Cottontail Customs, but it is pretty good. It's very solid, doesn't slip or move around. It's not that plasticky pleather stuff like on some of the Ryan sword and eBay vendors, so that's good. And you may think that this would dig into your hand, but it's actually done very well, at least on mine. It doesn't bother me the way when I had done some light cutting, not cutting, but, you know, practicing with it, just slashing the air just to see how it handles. Now, as you get towards the bottom, you can tell they got kind of lazy because some of the diamonds don't look too perfect, but it's not bad on a sword for this price. Now, none of these fittings are actually like iron. They all failed a magnet test, so I guess they're brass or copper or something. Now, let's get the sword out of the saya. And then we'll place it back on the stand. And then I'll review the saya at the end. So the blade is 1095, differentially hardened. It's not folded. There's no hot or grain there. And when you have a folded blade, you'll see the fold patterns. This is the hamon, which means it is clay tempered. And I did do my sharpening on it. I guess I got a little bit better at it, as the line isn't near as prominent on this piece as my other ones that I've done. But really, I haven't worked on a sword all year long. I've been too busy at work. Anyway, back to the review. One of my favorite parts of the sword is, I don't know if it's going to show up too well on camera, but this is actually the moon coming from behind, I guess it's a mountain or a cloud or something. And as the whole theme of the sword is vampires, it kind of reminds me of the 1931 Bram Stoker film, you know, Dracula. But it has a very prominent hamon. The blade's very straight. Once again, all the specs and dimensions will be in the bottom in the description, so you can check that for the measurements and everything. Has a fuller or bohea. It's not a blood group before anyone says that. The Yokote's looks like it's cross polished, which means it's not actually geometric, but $500, well, $400 sword. You get what you pay for. Also, the tsuba failed the magnet test, so, and it could just be this. I don't know. I'm not sure what the deal is with it, but it feels really solid. Like it has some weight to it, has some ass to it, as Ken usually says. And the Koshirae has a bat. I'll try to get the on the focus. There we go. The Hibaki and the Seppa are done very well. I'm glad they don't use those like cog style Seppas on these swords. Done very well. Now supposedly this kanji right here spells, translates to vampire. One of my buddies, Pascal Huel, says it means suck, bat, demon, or something. I can't remember what he said, but anyway, as far as he can tell, it actually does mean vampire, and you do get to stand with the sword. It assembles very simply, it just slides into place. There's no screws or bolts or anything. Has a high glossy paint finish on it. And I like this one because it has this like felt material in here, so your sword doesn't slide all over the place. And it also has it on the bottom so it doesn't slip on your counter. Size done very nice. I was actually kind of worried about the coloring of it. I thought it was going to be corny looking, like just cheap looking, but it actually flows in person. It's actually like blood red, which of course goes with the whole theme of the vampire sword. Then you got cane wrapping. I think this is called raton, whatever. And the Sageo is your typical eBay vendor, thick cotton. Not bad. I mean, it's not a bad sword at all. And I believe the mouth of the Koiguchi is actually buffalo horn. But I've never really cared about things like that. I've always cared more about the sword performing well. Now, of course, I did my crazy sharpening on it, and there's no point in me going and getting some paper, because you guys know how sharp it is. All my swords are razor sharp, without a beveled edge on it. Some people seem to think that's okay. On a katana, it's not, trust me. And some more detail up close. I like it. I dig it. It also comes with a sword bag, and these are the same kind that HSTS uses. I'm pretty sure there's no correlation between HSTS and Shintogo, but you never know. I doubt it, but who knows. I guess they learned their lesson with the cleaning kit here, because mine came wrapped up with a rubber band around it. I never use these things. To me, they're just a waste of time. It's more of a novelty to say, hey, it has a traditional cleaning kit. You're better off just using some gun oil and a rag. I mean, honestly. These are modern steel katanas. You don't have to do all that crazy powder ball stuff and rice paper. So it's just more of a novelty than it actually is a function. And then the last thing to talk about is the wooden display box. Or storage box, however you want to utilize this. Nothing much to say about it. It's a wood box and it holds the sword. It feels like you have styrofoam under here with the little yellow Kill Bill color cheap fabric over it. It looks good, but you know, it's cheap. Of course, the whole point of the review is the sword, which I like it. I like it a lot. It has a good feel to it. I imagine it would be a very good cutter, especially with trick cutting and bottles and stuff. I've seen people like Bathrobe Batasai use it to cut mats, and it seems to have done well. I just love vampires. I've always loved the vampire style of this sword, and I just finally just took the plunge and decided to order one, and took the risk of not getting it. And the story of me actually getting the sword is kind of funny. I ordered it on Amazon. I got the expedited shipping. Took like 3 days for them to show some movement, so I emailed them, Shintogo, or Trident Military, or whatever you want to call them. I was like, hey, what's the dealio? I paid extra for shipping. Can we get the sword sent? Or should I just cancel my order? They never responded, but like the very next day, I got a confirmation that it's been shipped off. Now, I must admit, I got pretty pissed off at my local post office because, and I don't know why, I had the hardest time getting my mail, it seems, but when it was showing out for delivery, I had it sent to my parents' house in Byron, Georgia, because I don't like packages being left at my apartment. And I knew they'd be home that day. So it said out for delivery, and then around 2:30 p.m. it said delivered. Cool. So as I'm getting ready to text my mom and say, hey, is it there? You know, I got confirmation. I get a text before I can even say anything to her. She says, sorry, Seth, the mail came, but your sword didn't arrive. I was like, it says left on the porch. Can you go look? So she gets out there, looks around, can't find nothing. I said, well, okay, we'll check the neighbor's house. Maybe they left it over there. My mom drives all around the neighborhood. Now, it's a new subdivision, so you've only got so many houses built over there, so there's only so many places it can be. So it's not there. Sword wasn't delivered even though they said it was. So around 5 p.m., 2.5 hours later, I'm getting ready to leave work and talking to my boss, and I get a text on my phone. A second mailman just dropped the sword off. 2.5 hours later after they said it was delivered. I have a problem with that. If you say it's delivered, it should be delivered. I don't know why the people in the mail service just have a issue with doing their fucking job. I would rather not get a confirmation saying it's been sent at 2:30 and just wait until 5 o'clock when I know it's actually there. And anyway, I'm bitching about the mail service. So I give this sword probably a good 7.5 out of 10, guys. If you want one, they're still available on Amazon. There's like 2 or 3 left, I think. And then there is I want to say there's a 9260 spring steel version on eBay. But I would not recommend you buy it from eBay or buy it off of eBay. Go through Amazon to get these. Once again, that is my thoughts on the Shintogo Vampire / Bat Katana. A great themed sword that I believe would perform very well in most cutting scenarios. I've seen it go through bamboo, bottles, mats. Handles very, very well. Feels good. Returns to the side very well. There's also no movement. There's no looseness on this thing at all. Even when it's in the side. Bathwebs was a little loose in his video, but mine doesn't move. Anyway, that's my video on the sword. We'll see you guys later. Peace.